Oh, what's up, everybody? So this next episode is part two of famous fighters' names, and this one you guys don't want to miss. Shots were fired many times, so check it out. Right on.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. Today, finally, part two. I know everyone enjoyed part one quite a bit, so we have to do part two. We've got a ton of names still to get through. So, Enson, you're back. You're at home this time, not in the car. How's things going?
Good, man. Going back tomorrow, so perfect timing today. Like tomorrow, I might have been in the car again, so this actually be a lot more better atmosphere. You can hear me better probably, so good timing.
Yeah. So I'm going to kick off straight away because apologies to Josh Gage. So Josh was the guy that suggested the episode, right? And then I realized after the episode, we didn't even do any of his fighters that he suggested. So,
oh, damn, Josh. We saved the best for last then, huh?
There you go. Yeah. Kick off this episode. So he starts with TK, who recently retired.
Oh, shit. I should actually send you some pictures. I have actually some pictures because right before I fought Mark Kerr, I went down to Seattle and trained with Maurice Smith, and TK was there.
Nice.
So I have pictures of training with him. And cool. I think I might have posted on my social media, but yeah, he was TK is a real interesting guy because he has no athletic ability. He's very unathletic. So as good as he is, it's been from a lot of work. He's a judo guy, but when I worked with him, the ground, he wasn't that knowledgeable on the ground. His standing, my standing sucks, but I think my standing was a little better than his. So yeah, we work together. I have a good relationship with him because not just because we trained together in Seattle, but also because I'm close to like Kanehara and he's close to Kanehara. So yeah, we're a good relationship. We talk a lot. I know he runs Alliance Jiu-Jitsu now. Mm-hmm. And every time I see him, we have a little chat. As far as a person, man, he's such a good guy. Super straight up, not a shit talker, real down to earth. And I think he just retired, yeah. So it's kind of sad to see someone so durable and so such a good representative of the sport to leave the game. But of course, he's still coaching, so we'll still see him around. TSUYOSHI, yeah.
Yeah. He's coaching TSUYOSHI's brother, right? So I'm sure that's an interesting.
Yeah, interesting. That'd be cool, man. See him across the corner now. Hey.
yeah. It's quite funny, you know. Both twin brothers, both got a MMA legends in their corner. So yeah, no, you say his retirement though. He had a great retirement. The sort of showcase. Yeah, he went out like it's one of the better ways you could go out for sure for a retirement.
Yeah, that's such a good way.
Next on his list, and I'm not gonna go through all of them because there's tons, but HIDEHIKO Yoshida.
Oh, Yoshida judo. Yeah, he actually came into the MMA world, went into Pride, fought. Figure he's judo, most sporty, but there I was like a warrior, ready to throw down at anyone. He was also good enough to actually start dropping some guys that were, I think he actually hurt Vanderlei for a bit in their fight.
Good fight, yeah.
Very straightforward guy. He doesn't break the law, always on the right side of the law. And something that no one knows, in one of these cases where I had a guy that was trying to charge me for assault, I actually got arrested 7 a.m. They brought me down to the police station, hour away into Tokyo police station. And what helped me out a lot was that Yoshida actually had dinner with that guy the night before when the guy claimed that I broke his jaw. I didn't, but that's the guy. That's the guy I tried to throw off the balcony and I was hanging over the balcony. But Yamamoto Kid and Ricky Fukuda held his legs from falling over. But, I didn't break his jaw. So he lied about me breaking his jaw. And Yoshida was one of the witnesses that came out and said that he ate dinner with him the night before and his jaw wasn't broken. So they released me right away. So props to him.
Yeah, we I remember that story because if you guys want to hear more about that story, go to the episode with Brent Nicholson. And yeah, just watch that. There's a ton of crazy stories, but that was one of them that was brought up because I think Brent was at the time. That might have been like his first.
I forgot Brent was actually there. I forgot about
it. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, it's a good episode. Check it out. Misaki,
I love the guy. I still see him today because he corners the Satoshi and Clever Koike Clever. Yeah, so I mean, he's it's funny because he's come up to me and said he respects my Yamatodamashii a lot. And that's exactly what I want to tell him. And I've told him that. So true warrior. And still part of sport coaching. Yeah, the great guy. I love the guy. We have a really good relationship. But it'd be good to have him on the pod. Oh, he only speaks Japanese. Damn.
We could maybe try and work something out. Is he
who?
Is he Misaki? Is he gonna corner Shrek? Because he's bonsai.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility. Yeah, I probably will. He probably will be. Oh, so he'll probably I'll see him this week. Next week.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. It's all your friends that are always like on the opposite corner, right? It's like I always see like Nakai cornering someone, like, and you're on the other side.
At my age now, that's how it is, man. All my ex-training partners or friends are all coaches now. So just like when we go to Extreme Couture, all the coaches know me, but a lot of the fighters don't know who I am. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Fujita.
Oh, Fujita, nice guy, super nice guy. He's a really good wrestler, and he takes a lot of good. He has a stone head. I was actually supposed to fight him. I was supposed to fight him in one of the prides that I fought. Heath Hearing. He was one of the choices. Pride always gave me a choice of 3 fighters, and it was Ken Shamrock, Fujita, and Hearing, and I picked Hearing. So he was a friend. You know, I've trained with him in Guam. I actually trained him in Guam a little bit. He came for vacation, and he came into the gym, and I rode with him a little bit, taught him some of the guard. So super nice guy, man. I mean, if you meet him, the guy, he's like the nicest guy. Yeah. Tough as hell in the ring, man.
Yeah. I always it's funny because everyone always talks about Don Fry Takayama, but Fujita Takayama, that was an awesome match, right? Everyone's so shocked because of these 2 pro wrestlers going at it. Like, it was nuts.
That was crazy.
He still does pro wrestling now, right? I think he was.
Yes, I think he does.
Or something. Yeah. Ryo Chonan.
He's actually the guy who makes and breaks down the ring for Shuto.
No way.
And he has a ton of fighters. I actually talked to him on the last Shuto that was in Sapporo, and he told me that he's already he's got it down to an art where he can break down the ring, the cage in like 20 minutes.
Fair play.
Yeah, super good guy. He's putting out a bunch of good students, man. So he has a good stable of fighters.
Nice. Yeah. I always remember him from obviously that highlight finish of Anderson Silva.
I have a story about him too. When I was a fighter, I had a sponsor that owned one of the bars in the gay district in Japan.
Okay.
And we were there with the sponsor and everything, and he came with one of his friends. And he came up and he saw me. We said hi, we shook hands, and after he left, I looked at my friends and said, "What the fuck is Chonan doing here?" And I was thinking, wait a minute. And then what I realized is he might have walked away and said the exact same thing about me. So that's the only story I have about him.
Bumping into the blue light district.
Yeah, fucking A, man.
Yeah. They're like speculating about each other.
Yeah.
Cool, man. What else you got? Akira Shoji.
So, oh my God, that guy is one of the toughest guys. Him and Matsui are two of the toughest guys that really didn't get credit that they should have.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, I mean, Shoji fought anyone they put in front of him, whether size didn't matter. You know, that guy fought giants. That guy fought like guys that really outclassed him. He saw. I remember him coming up to me once when he saw my documentary on Fuji TV, and he said he got really emotional when he watched it, and he respected me a lot. And we always had a good relationship. Never trained with him before, but always super nice guy. Even till today, I think I just ran into someone that actually saw him just recently.
All right, cool, yeah.
Yeah, and they said he asked about me, so.
You don't hear much about Akira Shoji anymore. I don't know. Did he go into like pro wrestling or anything else? I don't know.
I think he did pro wrestling for a bit, but I don't know what he's doing now. He's not even coaching fighters or anything, so he's pretty much disappeared from the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a huge name.
It's funny, Daijiro is not on this list, but because you mentioned him, I got to ask it. I love Matsui. He was awesome.
Oh,
right?
no, Matsui is another one, man. He had no athletic ability whatsoever, but had a heart of steel, man. And that guy fought hard and just kept going through it. I mean, you could tell he was not athletic. He didn't have very good technique striking or on the ground. But he was like freaking the heart. You couldn't break his heart. I mean, so much respect for Matsui.
Definitely, man. But yeah, he's he's doing pro wrestling now, so I can see he's busy doing that. It's kind of cool how they like start there, go to MMA, and then go back. So it's quite a good deal.
You can always do pro wrestling.
You can always do pro wrestling. Alexander Otsuka.
Oh yeah, that's the guy that when I was on the pilgrimage, they mistaken me for him. I don't know why. I guess because we have the egg head there.
Yeah, like
I think our head, the shape is the same. Yeah, the ears. So it was a funny incident because when I was on the pilgrimage, I was doing it all on foot. It was about 880 miles. And, you know, I was sleeping outside. And when you have someone put you up in their house and feed you and have you sleep on a bed or a futon and let you bathe in their bathroom, I mean, it's so nice. And when I came off this a temple number 13, which is one of the temple 13 on the Shikoku pilgrimage. If you look up the 88 Shikoku pilgrimage and there'll be stuff, and you look up number 13, it's one of the temples that breaks everybody. The majority of people who give up on the pilgrimage, they give up on temple 13. So after I completed 13, where you gotta pretty much clear 2 mountains, and the temple's on the top of the mountain, I finally made my way down, got to a store, and they had a fan come out and pull up, and it goes, "Oh my God, can we get your autograph?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, man." So, and my rule was I was going to walk everything and sleep outside. But if someone offered me to spend the night, I would spend the night, but I wouldn't ask from my side. Sign that thing, sign the autograph, everything. They're all happy. They leave. And they drive away, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, they didn't ask me to sleep. I was just hoping inside. Oh, they asked me if I would have a place to stay. And lo and behold, they came back. The couple, there's a couple. They came back. And they asked me, "Hey, do you have a place to stay, Mr. Otsuka?" And my heart went from a high to a low. And I was like, gosh, shit, they called me Otsuka. They think I'm Otsuka. So what I figured was I didn't want to, it was a real awkward situation and embarrassing situation for them if I tell them that you made a mistake, because I already got my autograph and everything.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't want to go in. So they think they got Otsuka's autograph. So I didn't want to go and take advantage of Otsuka and get a place to stay and get fed under his name.
Yeah.
So I decided to you know how hard it was, but I had to decline.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So I just said, "Oh, no, I'm good." That night, what I did was I slept on the side of the convenience store, and I was able to charge my phones in the middle of the night. the worker came out and got pissed off at me for having my phone plugged into the wall and said, if you don't stop, we'll call the cops. Just consider stealing electricity, which is kind of true.
Still, it's harsh.
So I looked at him and I said, I'm a pilgrim. And I said, I need to charge my phones. He goes, nope.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. And so I did it. So I remember that specific night, the specific temple, that specific convenience store that guy was a dick to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, OTSUKA, yeah. So that guy also was a warrior and a half, man.
Mm.
When he fought Igor, he threw down with Igor.
Mm.
He was game, and although he was 100% pro wrestler, he could scrap.
Mm.
And he was a really nice guy. Another nice guy, no shit talking, down to earth. At least to me.
Lots of guys in that generation that definitely fought their hearts out, right? And then it's cool to hear that they're nice guys as well backstage. On a separate note, we definitely got to do a podcast on the pilgrimage at some point, but we just got to work out the timing of when we do that one, because that's a big episode, right? So,
what, the pilgrimage?
Yeah.
Maybe hopefully we can do one while I'm down there.
That'd be cool. Yeah, really cool for people to see, like, on the journey again that missed it the first time you did it. Next on the list, YUSHIN OKAMI.
I don't know much about YUSHIN. All I know is he was the one who was training Akebono.
Okay.
I didn't think and still don't think much of him as a fighter, but he did do well in the UFC, which kind of surprised me. I still don't think he's a good fighter. And right now he's a part of, him and Takaya are a part of the what is that called? LD.
Oh, LDFH, is it something like that?
Yeah, something like that. The production that
they
train fighters. They have LDH, I think. They have a TV show.
The Dreamers thing. That's it.
And he's one of the coaches on the team and one of the owners of the team. Actually told me that Okami no heart, so he's not able to teach the fighters about heart and be like a real fighter samurai. But they have Takaya, so Takaya's real good with that. Yeah, so I don't know Okami. Personally, I didn't think much of him as a fighter, although he did do well in the UFC. And from what I hear around from the people that know him, that he's not someone that really can teach or display heart to a fighter.
Yeah, he's more like game plan, lay and pray a little bit. Not really the most exciting fights.
Yeah, so almost nothing good to say about him. So let's move on.
Shots are going to be fired in this episode. I can feel it. Sakurai.
Maha Sakurai, yeah. He's not a very smart person. But he's fucking like a genius in fighting. Amazing fighter. He one of the big stories about him.
Oh, I think
you could probably still
I think I know what you're going to say.
He had some kind of fetish about videoing himself having sex on his computer. And apparently the story is when he went abroad, he lost his computer. And I guess he didn't lock his computer, because when someone found it, all his videos went out public on the internet. And one of the videos was his aerobics instructor for his school. And another video was him having sex with his wife.
Ooh, I didn't know that part.
I think the wife video, he actually, after, before they had sex, he walked by her and she was sitting down and he kind of slapped his dick on her face and stuff. The aerobics instructor, he had sex with her, and after he had sex with her, he totally ignored her.
Fuck's sake.
And she would and then she would like tap him because I guess it was real awkward. So she kind of like would like caress him and touch him after. Had all this on video, and he kind of like, I'm watching TV, leave me alone. It was brutal.
Oh man!
And one of the other videos, he was having sex with this young girl. They call them garu. They're like blonde hair. They're dark skinned. You know, they tan a lot.
All right, yeah.
But this girl, when he came, he shot on her face, and she got super pissed off. So I don't know what you gotta bleep out of this, but
I'm leaving it in. Fuck it. We're all adults. This is not for kids.
And well, anyway, needless to say, he got divorced because of that video.
Ooh, wow.
And the crazy thing about it is he's actually now a politician.
No way. You're kidding.
I mean, Japan usually has the strictest things about people, you know, that had a bad past. But apparently his father is a politician.
Wow.
And with the father's name, he actually was able to, he became like I think it was like a representative of his town. I think he still is that now, you know.
That's hilarious.
you know the crazy thing, I know him really well, but there was a time when I went to have dinner with him. We had dinner, and after dinner, there was a fan that came up to us and wanted to take pictures with us. It was a cute girl. I admit it's a cute girl. So we go and we're taking pictures of him, and we're taking pictures and everything, and she had these really nice breasts. And, you know, for me, I kind of looked at it, I was like, holy shit, that's nice. But I kind of like glanced at it every chance I had, but try not to be obvious. Fucking Sakurai went and just grabbed and started squeezing her titties and telling her, whoa, this is nice. And she kind of freaked out. And I was seeing them as a, whoa, that guy's going to get freaking arrested one day, man. But I guess so far it's been okay. But yeah, he was like, bro, I don't know if it's stupidity or ignorance, and I'm in no way talking shit about the guy because I love the guy. He's such an awesome guy, but he has this weird personality and things he does, man. Like I said, I put it to like he's not the brightest bear in the woods.
Okay, cool.
Shots fired.
Yeah. Literally, I'd heard the rumors of the Sakurai sex tapes, but I've never heard the play-by-play.
Google it. You might.
I'm gonna have to.
Just don't let your wife see you doing that.
Yeah,
try explaining that to her.
yeah, I'll just let her know. Yeah, this is just some research for the podcast. But how do we move on from that? Let's. I'll do one of his Hawaiian fighters. TULI.
Taylor Tui, definitely one of the pioneers of the sport. He fought in UFC 1.
First ever fight, right?
I think he got his tooth kicked out from Gerard Godot, yeah?
Yeah.
I've met him before because he does a lot of acting on Hawaii. He used to do a lot of acting on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Yep, met him before. Super nice guy. He's actually come to my bracelet booth before, and when I was in the Alamana Center.
Nice.
Said hi. And I think I've done a couple scenes with him on Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
When I think I was a mafia boss, and he was like he was there too. I think, yeah. But yeah, don't know much about him, but just that he's a super nice guy and does a lot of acting. Yeah,
this is where he seems to spend most of his career because he had the one fight, he was one and done, and then he had quite a short sumo career as well, I think, due to an injury. So, but yeah, he's definitely part of history, right? In fact, he's in the first ever UFC. So, okay, moving on to.
Oh, you know what? Too, what I gotta say is, if you entered UFC 1, you got balls. I don't care what.
No. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I would have entered UFC 1.
Yeah, there's that story, right?
If you entered UFC 1, you're either a little bit nuts or you got balls of steel, man. So, credit to him about that, man. He entered UFC 1, man.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but wasn't there a story, right, where they were like debating the rules, and then I think it was TEILA that like stood up and was like, "I'll see you there, gentlemen," or something like that, and then like everyone just thought, "Fuck it, let's just do it," sort of thing. So there's some story about like a rules meeting, and I'm sure it was TEILA that was just kind of like, "Let's just do it."
If I see him in Hawaii, I'll try to get him on the podcast one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah.
I might run into him. Hawaii's a very small place.
So, right, let's fire through some more. Fuck, we got so many. This will be a quick one because hopefully we're trying to get this one booked in. And apologies if I said this name wrong. I can't even read my writing. I think Andy Cooks asked about Frank Shamrock.
Frank Shamrock, yeah. I mean, great fight with him. He was a better man that night. It was considered a DQ, but I don't like the old rules where they had a standing 8 count for a knockdown on the feet. So I consider it a knockout. I still see him. I've run into him a couple times since the fight. Been on really good terms. I guess we both have a lot of respect for each other, and yes, we are going to get him on the podcast soon. So
yeah, can't wait.
We'll talk a lot about him then.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Gonna be cool to hear what Frank's been up to. Just inside and outside the ring, right? So, okay. So moving on to some of the questions that came in from Twitter. Paul Norrington, Paul from the UK, my side of the woods. What's up, Paul? Hope you're good. Yeah, BJ Penn. We talked about BJ Penn. Kendall Grove.
I don't personally know Kendall, but I know he has sick jiu-jitsu. Good fighter, but I've met him a couple times. I know when I saw him once at a charity event that I was running. He came to hang out. Yeah, I talk to him online. Sometimes we say hi, so we know of each other, and I got nothing bad to say about him. I know he's a good fighter and one of the great representatives for Hawaii MMA.
Yeah, one of the guys in that sort of mid-2000s era. Another one from that era, who's actually a bit of a mainstay now, and from my side of the woods, Michael Bisping.
Michael Bisping. I like him in a way because I really didn't like him in the beginning when I saw him in the TUF house.
Yeah.
Because he's really sharp with his words and real blunt.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a dick.
Yeah.
That's my first impressions of him. But now as I see him, even when he talks about stuff, even when he commentates, he's just really frank. And he's not being a dick about things. He's really frank about what he says, and he's not afraid to speak his side. So, someone like that I can really respect. And as a fighter, man, he did a lot. I mean, he beat Anderson Silva. I think he beat Luke Rockhold too.
Yeah. That was a big fight.
Yeah, I mean, he's beat guys that are like super good. I mean, very deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. So yeah, a lot of respect for Bisping. True fighter, man.
It's a funny.
And only talk shit when he really meant it, which I liked about him too. He talked a lot of shit, but he really meant it.
It was funny though, because in the beginning, everyone hated Bisping. I remember people.
I actually was one of them because someone like that is easily misunderstood. Yeah.
Definitely over time, like in his career, people started to respect him a lot more. I think because he was in there for so long, right? And he was always at that level, and he never got to the belt, and then he finally did get to the belt, and then he had that big fight with GSP as well and stuff. So. I agree 100%. I quite like his takes on stuff. You're right. He's super frank, right? He's not like,
I like that.
Yeah, he's not polished in that sense. So.
He's a pretty good commentator. He's a very good commentator too.
Yeah. I was listening to him on London. It's good.
I mean, by far better commentator than DC. I'd rather listen to him than DC. Shots fired.
Yeah. He's one of my. I think he's one of my favorite commentators, Bisping, right now. Anyway, it changes a bit, but I think he's one of the ones where it kind of keeps you engaged, but has some good opinions. So
very informative and very knowledgeable when he says things.
Yeah, you can tell he's talking from experience.
Yes.
This one's a good name actually. One that hasn't been talked about for a while, but used to be the talk of the town. Kimbo Slice.
Oh man, rest in peace.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember watching him on the street fights.
Mm. Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when those back street fights
That's
or
right.
backyard fights or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just so unfortunate. He was, from what I heard about him, was that he was really taking fighting seriously, and he wasn't
Mm.
like a street guy coming off the street saying, "I want to fight in the pro ring." He was actually training hard. I'm
Mm.
not sure where he was training. I forget. It was like a big gym.
Yeah, I don't
It wasn't
remember.
AKA. Yeah,
Was it AK?
I
It
don't know. It
was a
was
big
one of
gym, though.
those
I
like
remember.
real prestigious gyms that he was training at,
Yeah.
and from what I heard was he was training. He was like in the grind training.
Mm.
So much respect for that. Just so unfortunate, man. I don't think he's
Mm.
actually reached his peak when he
Yeah.
passed. He was still working on his game. So unfortunate. I wish he would have been able to be around a little longer to to fulfill what he was planning to do in MMA. It would be
It's such a
it's
big
a real
thing.
big success story, yeah.
Yeah,
Someone like
it
that
really is.
and comes out and starts pros and does well, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Fun time in MMA, actually. Like Kimbo Slice. You look back on it now, right? And you're kind of like, that was a lot of fun when that whole Kimbo era happened. But yeah, he was so famous back in the day, like especially online, like when online wasn't that big thing, right? But you just see like like hashtags, not hashtags, but like search fields for when you'd be looking for fights. It would either be like MMA, UFC, Kimbo Slice, like
Yeah,
street
he's
fights. You know what I
huge.
mean?
He's huge.
He was just massive. Um, who else did you got? Babalu.
Babalu, um, veteran. I know he was one of those guys that was fighting in the Brazil before MMA actually came a sport.
Mhm.
Real good fighter, well rounded, and never met him, but I think he's actually messaged me online before. A lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for me. So
Yeah,
I like the guy.
yeah, yeah.
Just one of the real pioneers of the sport too.
Mhm. He fought everywhere, man. He was literally like every promotion, I swear. He's got a interesting one actually, where it's not a fighter, but he's asked for your take on Ariel Helwani.
HELWANI. Not sure about right now, but I know in the beginning he was all about getting the news first.
Yes, yeah,
And he was willing to get fighters in trouble. He was willing to throw people under the bus just so he can get the first scoop on it. I mean, you got guys that used to go on his podcast and say like, "Oh, sorry, I can't say that. I'll get in trouble," and he'll try to pry it out in a different way.
yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, he just told you he's gonna get in trouble. Why would you want to do that?
Hmm.
So I know he got into trouble with the UFC or something about that, but
Yeah, yeah,
but I can't say that he's been doing it recently.
yeah.
But I know I felt that way about him, and I always thought that if I was ever on his podcast, I would have called him out on that.
Mm,
But if I did go on his podcast today, I don't think I would because I haven't seen him do it recently.
yeah,
Put that aside, as far as a journalist for the sport, he does miracles for the sport.
mm,
He's a big help to why MMA is as big as it is.
yeah,
And the fact that he's being hired to do commentating for Jake Paul's series, and
mm,
he's a prestigious name in the sport. And
yeah,
it's funny because he started off as a fan
yeah, yeah.
and worked his way up to go asking questions to fighters in the back to being a
Mm,
legit talk show host. Went to
yeah,
ESPN for a bit, and it's like one of the major major media guys in for MMA, man. One of the most knowledgeable, most well known, I think.
yeah. I think because back in the day, as a viewer, his stuff was so like must watch, right? Because now there's like so many different outlets. You can go on YouTube and find whatever you want. But back in the day, it was like that MMA hour show was kind of,
Yeah,
it's like you said,
that was the most.
he pried the stories out of people, but from a viewing point of view, it was kind of must watch. Because I think back to, you could make the argument, right, that the reason why women became in the UFC was because Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate, right? That was like the big rivalry Dana wanted. He wanted that fight, and actually, the birth of the rivalry kind of started on the MMA Hour. I think he got those two to start talking shit on the show, and it's kind of like, so when you look back to it, that show definitely started a lot of rivalries, I think, and actually kind of
he's done well. Bottom line, he's done a lot for the sport.
Yeah,
you gotta appreciate what he's done.
Yeah, some people seem to either love him or hate him, but I think we're probably on the same opinion. Where I'm like in the middle, right? I see where he's done some good stuff.
I never hated him. I used to dislike him.
Yeah,
but now I appreciate what he's done, and he's continued to do for the sport.
Yeah, fair play to him. So cool. So thanks, Paul. What's next? Enochiism Forever. So give you a hint of some of the names that are on this list. Masakatsu
Funaki, super nice guy, very intelligent. Till today, he's still in very good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Has gone into acting a lot. And I remember when jiu-jitsu wasn't known in Japan, he was one of the first fighters to actually, when I sparred with him, actually moved and knew jiu-jitsu. When not enough Pancrase fighters knew jiu-jitsu, Funaki knew jiu-jitsu movement. So when I sparred with him, he knew how to try and stop me passing his guard and that kind of stuff. The other guys had no clue. But he was one of the smart guys that actually started learning jiu-jitsu movement. Very intelligent guy, nice guy.
Nice. What else we got? Oh, so this one came in from quite a few people. Sakuraba.
Whew. The greatest guy. He makes other men look bad because he's such a good guy that makes us look bad. The only bad thing about him is, one, he's a chain smoker. Just like chain smoking.
Yeah.
And when he gets drunk, he's a very bad drunk. Picks fights with anybody.
Yeah. I think you said someone asked about him in a previous fan Q&A, and I remember when you said that, and I was like, "Whoa!" Right.
Yeah, I was at a bar that they're all at it, and as soon as I walked in the bar, there was like a big thing going on, and I saw Kanehara them holding back Sakuraba. I was like, "Whoa, this isn't Sakuraba." So I said, "What happened?" He said, "No, Sakuraba's drunk, and he was trying to pick a fight with a Yakuza guy."
Ooh.
Yeah, so apparently he's a very bad drunk, but other than that, super humble, super nice guy. When I first went sparring at UWF, what's the amazing thing about that is he never really stood out to me. The only thing he stood out to me was his wrestling was really good, so I'd always end up on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't understand the guard, so I could armbar him and sweep him. The guys who stood out to me was Kanehara. I thought he was going to be the best one in MMA, and Matsui for his like he was a tough. And I thought Matsui could get good because you can't teach hard, you can teach technique. And Sakuraba didn't really stand out to me, and lo and behold, he became the star out of that whole group.
Yeah,
a star of Japan. Period.
Yeah. His legacy speaks for itself, right? What he did with the Gracies, crazy. Minoue Man.
Minoue Man, I think he has a little bit of his wires not connected in his brain. He's a little out there, but super, super, almost to a point where he's almost autistic. Where he's super nice, super innocent, like a little boy.
Really, right?
Yeah. I mean, to a point where it's like, is he okay?
Yeah.
And he's one of the proofs that you don't need to be a rocket scientist to be a good fighter. But super nice guy, super tough. I think he's still fighting. He's still active. His last fight, he had bad contusions in his calf from Shoshi's kicks.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought since then. But from what I hear, there was rumor that he wants a rematch, and we're like, oh no, there's not going to be a rematch. But yeah, I hear he's still fighting. Nice guy though.
Yeah. Daisuke Nakamura?
Don't know him at all, but super well-rounded, good fighter.
Yeah,
he's into the strong style pro wrestling UWF style where he wears leggings. He even wears leggings in his fights.
Mhm.
He's just a die-hard UWF guy. Very good fighter, very well-rounded. Don't know him as a person at all.
Gentlemen's combatives. He's most of on his list we've actually done already, but he does ask about Minoru Suzuki.
Suzuki Minoru. Oh, one of the guys that's actually a real good fighter, a good submission wrestler, and a very, very good pro wrestler.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, super good pro wrestler. I've done so. I think I did a match with him before. I don't know. Not sure, but yeah, he was. When I went into pro wrestling, he was one of like the vets in there.
Yeah.
And he's like he's really good at playing the bad guy.
Yeah, still is. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he's still doing it now, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, and he's quite famous in America as well, actually.
Wow, really? Huh? Yeah.
Funny story, actually. I actually met Minoru Suzuki. I met him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was coming back from my honeymoon in Japan, and he was doing a pro wrestling show in London, and we were on the same flight. And I remember I was really shocked actually because he was on the plane and he was just playing like a card game or something like the whole flight. That's a different story, because I could see him and I would just always see him. He's playing this one game for like the whole flight. And then, funnily enough, I went to go see him, but it must be because of the damage he's taken. But when he like turned to say hello, he had to like sort of, he couldn't just turn his neck. He had to like turn his whole body.
Yeah, he is. He's like kind of like me, has a stiff neck. Yeah.
Yeah. You could tell that you know. Bit of, like,
was
warrior,
he nice
right?
to you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. He's it was kind of funny because like after the plane ride, we're on the same train, and him and another pro wrestler, Tomohiro Ishii, they were just there. And it was kind of like a weird one. I didn't really know what to say. We're just like, it's 7 a.m. in the morning. Like everyone's kind of grumpy because we just been sat on a flight for 13 hours. So it's like, I didn't want to interrupt him too much. I didn't ask for a picture or anything like that. So I just
he's probably think you're stalking him.
Yeah. It was kind of one of them where, you know, I was, pretty knackered after.
Oh, good to hear he was nice to you though.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I think
that's awesome.
He plays the bad guy, right? But deep down, you can tell he's
nice.
Yeah. Chris Calmer asks about Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler, I remember seeing him in one of his first fights in Hawaii when he fought one of my students, Shogun, and just murdered him.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went and I saw him at one of the Hall of Fame events, in the UFC Hall of Fame events, where I think where he got inducted.
Mm-hmm.
And he came up and said hi to me. He remembered me from then, and super nice guy. I mean, it's funny how he's like one of the biggest warriors in the ring, but a super nice guy outside the ring.
Yeah, softly spoken, right? Like,
yeah, and I hear that Mike Tyson is a fan of his.
Wow, yeah.
How can you get any bragging rights bigger than that, man? Mike Tyson's a fan of yours. Oh my God.
That's one to put on your fridge, right? That's something else. So
yeah.
Arnold Main writes in. He wants to know your thoughts on Akira Maeda.
Maeda, who's that? I don't know who that is. He's okay. The good thing that I can say about Maeda is he had an eye for fighters. Some of the guys that he had in rings were like the best. Like Fedor was in rings. You know, he had everybody went through rings.
Mm-hmm.
As far as a person, he's not a man. He doesn't keep his word. He's just someone that will throw people under the bus for his own good, for his own sake. And even if I helped him a lot in his Outsiders event, I helped him from the beginning, helped get that Outsiders big. The moment I was arrested, and because I became a potential criminal, 99% of his fighters were criminals. But he says that because I'm now a criminal, I have to stay away from the ring, from his ring.
Mental.
I took a 2-year break. He actually called me back. Took me to dinner, apologized. I forgave him when I helped him out again. And one big incident where I helped his help one of his events from not being smashed from the gangsters that he disrespected. I helped him, agree to, do things right from now because he was wrong and they were mad. So I made them accept his forgiveness, his apology, and they left. And right after that, they agreed that this is squashed. Right after the event he went straight to the cops. So I called him, told him you gotta pull that away, you gotta stop that, you gotta pull back charges, and he refused to do it. So I told him I can no longer help you anymore. And till today, I don't have a good relationship with him. He's not worth my time to go find him and beat him up. But I believe I deserve the respect that he backstabbed me, that he doesn't come and say hi to me. And I will go say hi to him. So we just just pretend like we're not even there and then everything will be okay. But yeah, don't respect the guy for nothing. I know he's really into samurai swords too. But don't respect the guy for nothing. And if he comes to say hi to me, I'll tell him straight up in front of everybody, get the fuck out of here. Go back to your seat. Don't ever say hi to me again. And if he gets wise at me, I'll easily slap him. That's what I think of him.
Shots fired. There you go. I'm going to have to name that episode. That's all right. Shots fired. Yeah. There's not much more I can add to that. But hey, like you said, he's into swords. There you go. That's probably the nicest thing you could say about it.
He's into swords and he has an eye about picking out good fighters.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on to some of the Facebook questions. Fedor. Oh, from down.
I've heard a story that psychologists actually did a study on Fedor and said his demeanor and his look before he fights is like a serial killer.
Whoa.
Yeah, I thought that was real interesting because he looks real calm, like a little boy just standing in the ring. But for some reason, that analysis said that that's the traits of a serial killer, the way he acts before the fights.
It's crazy. Didn't know that.
But I believe one of the greatest fighters, he didn't do well in the States, but when he was in Pride, he was beating everybody. And Pride was the shit. I'm not saying that, the fighters in the States are better because he didn't do well against them. I'm thinking that the fighters were the best fighters in Pride and he was dominating them. So
yeah, he had a bit of success in the States, didn't he? Because when he was in Strike Force, because there was the Affliction shows, right, where he knocked out, was it Arlovsky? And then there was the Strike Force shows. Because the fight that never happened, which everyone wanted to see, right? Fedor versus Barnett.
Couture.
Oh, yeah, and Randy as well, yeah. Fuck, yeah, Randy was the bigger one, right? But I always wanted to see Fedor versus Josh, because that was going to be Affliction 3, wasn't it?
Oh.
And then the drug test, I think, stopped that. So, but yeah, man, legend of the sport.
Yeah, fucking unreal. I that's one of the guys, another one besides Valder Silva that I would have loved to have fought if I was fighting in my prime when he was there.
Yeah. Don Fry.
Don Fry, love the guy.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone that had a more fucked up shoulder than mine, but Don Fry's shoulder is 10 times more fucked up than mine.
Really?
I remember at we went to a Legends of the Cage event where all the legends were there, and Don Fry was one of them. When we were on the mat, he asked me to put both feet, one feet on his neck, one feet on his armpit, and pull his arm as hard as I can. And when I was pulling it, I could feel like things like separate. I don't know. It was weird, man.
Oh.
And then when I was done, he was like, "Oh yeah, that felt so good, man." At that event, he had his booth was right behind mine. So I could hear him like cussing and shit. So we looked underneath, and he was selling T-shirts, and they're all in a huge pile, and he couldn't find the sizes. So Sarah actually went on his side, folded all his shirts. None of them are folded. They're all in a pile. And he couldn't find sizes. And so Sarah went on that side, folded everything, and categorized it in sizes and helped him out. And he was so grateful.
That's cool.
When the event was done, I remember everybody jumped on the buses. And, I was one of the last ones because we were just hanging out. And I went across to the other side where he was. And he was the only guy sitting down in his booth yet, almost like he was waiting for a customer to come. And he was already drinking a beer. I remember making a video. I don't even know I had that video. I was joking around. I was, hey, Don, it's over. You can go home now. And he looked at me and goes, yeah, what the fuck is a fucking bus? Me and Sarah went out that night, went to dinner, came back later on to the hotel, and we're walking by a truck. And when we walked past, I heard a voice go, hey, Enson, what are you doing? Turn around, Don Fries in the truck with Yaburo. You know that big sumo guy?
Yaburo, yeah.
They were drinking and they were drunk, and he's kind of joking, saying, oh, man, I'm drunk. I got to get myself back in the room. I don't know how to fucking get this guy back to the room. And so I kind of, offered, like, oh, do you guys need help? He goes, no, we're okay, man, thanks. And I don't know how long they drank to, but we left, went to our room, and they were still in the truck drinking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, fucking nice guy, man. I love that guy. Yeah. We should actually get him on the podcast. He'd be a good one to get on the podcast.
That would be fun.
He would probably love to be on it too. Talk about the Pride Days.
Pride Days. That's what I was thinking. It'd be great because he had a great career in Pride as well, right? Be interesting to hear how he crossed back over. If you remember, he was UFC, and then he did ages in pro wrestling, I think, and then he came back to Pride. So it'd be cool to hear about that. Yeah. Who else has Dan Fro got on his list? He said Jens Pulver and the Miletich camp in general.
I don't know really much about the Miletich camp, but I know Pat's solid. Pat's a super good fighter, good trainer. So anyone in the Miletich camp was always a good fighter. Jens Pulver, don't know much about him, but I know he had a real strong punch. Never met him, so I can't say much about Jens, but he was a good fighter. I think he knocked out BJ Penn. Yeah, that was kind of surprising or did BJ beat him? I think he knocked out BJ Penn. That kind of freaked me out.
Wasn't there 2 fights? I can't remember. I'm sure Penn versus Pulver.
Well, one of them, the one that he knocked out Penn, was like, whoa! I thought Penn was going to walk through.
Yeah. I think also on his list, Josh Barnett.
Oh man, nice. There's one of my good friends. When I went back before I fought Mark Kerr in the year 2000, I think it was year 2000. When I went to train at Alliance with Murray Smith and KOSAKA, there was a little tournament at Maurice's gym, and Josh was one of the young kids that was entering in it.
Wow.
He was really heavy, a real heavy kid. I remember him because he was a real heavy kid.
Yeah.
But man, he could move.
Yeah.
And he was super confident in himself. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I've kept in touch with him. He's actually the one who pulled me into pro wrestling.
Yeah.
He's another one that is an awesome fighter and an awesome pro wrestler.
Yeah. He is a promoter now as well, I think. He does his blood sport.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's right. It's like a pro wrestling event, yeah?
Yeah, we need to get him on the podcast because
we'll get him because we have a big history because we went and partied in Roppongi together. My tattoo artist actually put a tattoo on him.
Oh, really? Wow.
I brought him to Watanabe Gym. I actually ran into him in Bangkok. Took him to Santi Inoue Gym to train.
Nice.
Yep, I met him. We went to dinner in Japan a lot, and the one time we went to dinner, he brought Bob Sapp for his first fight, and we had dinner with him and Bob Sapp. Oh, yeah. That would be a good one to get on the podcast too, because there was a falling out between him and Bob Sapp. Yeah.
Wow, that'd be cool.
So it might be good for him to talk about that. Yeah. So yeah, Josh. I mean, I consider him not just a freaking warrior and a good fighter, but he's a super good friend of mine.
Yeah, Josh had such a great career as well, right? I was about to say what.
I think he's still good right now.
Yeah, he probably, yeah. They should get him for Ryzen. That'd be fun. Do like sort of like a retirement fight or something. That'd be cool.
No, not if you got to fight TSUYOSHI.
Maybe his brother.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that if we hopefully we get him on, it'd be probably like a 2-part episode because I imagine there's gonna be so much stories from between you guys. So that'd be cool. James Reese on Facebook asks about one of your previous opponents, Heath Herring.
No, I don't know the guy at all. I just know he's a real good fighter, and I wanted to fight him because he beat Tom Erickson. Tom Erickson was supposed to be the guy that's going to turn the whole MMA upside down.
Yeah.
And he actually submitted Tom Erickson. He didn't just beat him, he submitted him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. If I met Heath today, what I would ask him if he got red eye from me in our fight, because I had pink eye.
I remember
red eye. I don't know what you guys call it here, yeah. I couldn't even see out of my eyes.
Yeah.
So
it's in your book, right?
Yeah. So I usually they don't allow fighters to fight, but they allow. I somehow got by the doctors on that.
I remember because in the pre-fight interview you got the sunglasses on, right?
Yeah. You can tell I was trying to hide my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be fair, you're crazy, man, because you just said before, right, that you had the choice of Shamrock, FUJITA, or Herring. Herring 100% at that point was like the toughest fighter, especially because, as you say, he beat Tom Erickson, and nobody wanted to fight Tom Erickson.
That's why I wanted to fight him, and that's kind of proof in the pudding that, I say that I don't pick fighters that I think I can beat. I pick fighters that I think would push me or even break me. It was about testing myself. It wasn't about winning.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other one on James's list is Overeem.
Overeem, personal friend. I ran into him in Roppongi once where we're supposed to go to a strip joint together. Never was able to because I guess he went and he did something else. We went to the strip joint and he never came by. But personally, know him personally. Never really party with him, but when we see each other, we're not just acquaintances. We're kind of friends. I consider him a friend.
Yeah.
And always rooted for him when he fought in the UFC, man. Super good fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Another one where these heavyweight.
It's funny because when he came into the scene, I don't know if people noticed, but he has a brother, Valentine Overeem.
Valentine. Someone asked about Valentine. Mono Warriors. He asked about Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine. Not only fucking warrior, he's a body. He looked like a beast. And when Overeem came into Alistar came into the scene, he was like, oh, Valentine's skinny little brother.
Yeah. Because he was light heavyweight as well, right?
And funny how he just turned it around where he became the man, and his brother I don't know what happened to the brother. The brother was a good fighter too.
I don't know what happened to Valentine.
Yeah, damn. I wonder if we ever get Alistar on the podcast, we got to ask him about that.
Yeah, ask him about his brother, yeah. Okay, we'll do some quick fire. We've got a few more left to do. What were the other ones? So Mono Warriors had two other ones. Ken Shamrock.
Met him before. Never got a really personal discussion with him, but one of the guys I respect because he was one of the pioneers of the sport. I think he was one of the only guys that really was a threat to beating Royce Gracie. Yeah. And if they fought 5 times, I think he'd probably win once or twice. Unfortunately, he didn't get that much chances against Royce. But yeah, I mean, Ken Shamrock was one of the catalysts to, of course, Royce Gracie, Ken Shamrock was a part of what this MMA is today. I mean, one of the straight up pioneers.
Yeah, that's cool from a pioneer himself talking about or an even earlier pioneer. So it's cool to see legends recognizing each other. Takayama.
Unfortunately, paralyzed from the neck down right now from a pro wrestling move. Freaking warrior.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to go to the pro wrestling ring to train. He never trained. He would always lift weights while we sparred.
Wow.
But man, I mean, that guy was tough. I mean, I know he was in the gym. He was known for his knees. His knees was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, his fight with Don Fry is classic, and his fight with Don Fry showed how much hard he is and how tough he is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's sad, man, that he can't move from his neck down till today.
Yeah, that is sad, man. He's been paralyzed, especially because he's such a huge monster guy, man. It's just it's like one of the most intimidating fighters to fight, I think.
Last time I saw him 5 years ago, he was down to like 180 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Really skinny.
Yeah.
And he had like he had something where the wife had to cover the hole in his throat for him to talk.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, so he's in a real bad situation.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. Did you know that there was some sort of film where they like recreated the Fry Takayama fight?
No.
I never seen it, but it was on one of the guys who sent in for the name Masters of Senton. He's got like an Instagram page, and on there he put clips of this film, and I'd never seen it before. But it must have been like a couple of years after, and they're like reenacting the fight, but for like some film. So, yeah, crazy. And speaking of him, Master Senton, he asks about Kyoji Horiguchi.
Oh wow, what a classy guy, man. I mean, not just because he doesn't talk shit. He's such a warrior. He's such a straight up guy. I mean, how can you not? How can you? I don't think there's a person in MMA that doesn't like the guy. The things he says, the way he acts, he's so classy. He's so respectful, so humble. I mean, I don't think there's a single person that dislikes Horiguchi. Super good representative of the sport, man. I mean, super good. Love the guy.
Yeah, hopefully he gets back to winning ways. It was a bit unfortunate.
I remember when I was talking to Kid once. I remember Kid told me about Horiguchi that he's just way too strong.
Really?
Like when he spars with Horiguchi, he pretty much gets hurt every time they spar because he's so strong. And that's Kid saying that. Kid was super strong.
Yeah. Kid fight.
Yeah, so that, I guess it just shows how strong Horiguchi was, man. The power wise.
Also on his this was Imanari.
Real quiet guy, almost introverted.
Really?
Yeah, real quiet. Walks around like, I mean, if you saw him in regular clothes, you think it's like an old Japanese man just walking around. Yeah. But one of the deadliest footlock guys. You do not want him touching your feet. He'll turn a footlock from any position.
Yeah.
Still fighting, so active fighter today. Amazing. Yeah. It's so durable.
Right? So and Ryzen, right? He was in.
Yeah, he's super durable, super good, crazy martial artist.
John Aoki asks about Lyoto and Shinzo Machida.
Never met Shinzo. Lyoto and his father were once I think they were in the same van that when I cornered Phil Baroni in the UFC. I think he fought in that same UFC. And I think he was in the same van. Very respectful kid. Never, I think he acknowledged me. I think he knew who I was, acknowledged me, but never got to talk to him. But I mean, you can see in his interviews and the way he carries himself. He's a very respectful, honorable kid.
Yeah. I always enjoyed watching him fight, especially that UFC one, right? Yeah, man. When he did like the Karate Kid, like you remember Joe Rogan like losing his mind, like he did that Karate Kid.
The up kick that Steven Seagal taught everybody,
yeah. Was that Silver? I don't know. They both did it, right? They both did that was just a cool time in MMA.
Yeah, but Steven Seagal claims that he showed the people that. Oh, what did you say? Did you say Steven Seagal?
No, but you want to go?
Okay. Fake ass guy, bully, fake ass pussy. he can go fuck himself. And I've publicly said this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's heard about it. I mean, he probably doesn't know who I am, but yeah, he's such a bullshitter. He's full of shit. There's some stuff on him too on the internet that talks about all his bullshit. He's a freaking chronic liar, and a lot of his shit is all bullshit. He should be on a McDojo. He's a McDojo champ.
That was one of the things right back in the day, like the original martial arts scene. You had like the legit guys, and then there was a lot of fraudsters, right? And he was one of the ones that sort of became famous. So yeah. No, I was never a fan of him. Never liked his movie.
Can't believe someone threw out his name on that. Damn it.
Shots keep getting fired. Oh, we also had Kawajiri.
Oh, super respectful guy.
Crusher.
But man, like a little tank, man. I don't know if he's currently fighting anymore, but man, solid fighter, man. He was one of the, I think he was a Shuto champ. One of the guys that was raised and bred in Shuto and went on to do really good things in, like, I think it was the Bushido Pride, Bushido.
And Dream as well, right?
Dream, yeah.
Because remember in Dream there, it was like him, Eddie Alvarez, Aoki. They had loads of good lightweights back then. That was competing with the UFC lightweight division. I
mean, his nickname pretty much explained a lot about him. The Crusher. Fucking A.
Yeah. I think we've only got a few more. Jinx 1314. Yes, about Saki. Yes, about Saki Kabara.
Saki Kabara, very shady. What he says sometimes is you don't know if it's the truth or it's what he's politically saying or saying to plan something. I've caught him in lies to me. We currently do have a good relationship. He's lied to me in the past, and I know he's lied to me. I know he's capable of doing that. But as of right now, put all that shit aside. I love what he's doing for Japan MMA. And throughout my career, he was always super supportive of me. Even after, he always provided me with tickets, treated me with a lot of respect.
That's cool.
And, he might have told me some lies, but overall, man, if it wasn't for him, Japan MMA wouldn't be where it is today.
100%.
So you gotta, if anything, what trumps everything is the fact that he's doing so much good for MMA.
Yeah.
And I've already offered him help. Anything I can help him with, not a job, not being like trying to get some payment. But if I can be of power to help him for what he's doing with Japan MMA, I always offered my help. And just last week, he actually got in touch with me. We got a meeting. In fact, we got a meeting in 2 days. 3 days. On Wednesday, I got to meet him at the office. So we'll find out what he wants my help with.
Awesome. Yeah, man. It's like you say, right? There'd be no pride, there'd be no rising. So I always liked his vision. He's completely different to anything else that's out there. You could see it when Dream came along. Dream was good. I enjoyed Dream a lot, but there's a magic that he brings in terms of rising and pride, and it's just something that he's got a little bit of a touch. I know some people have their dramas with him, but I think personally,
you know what, you got to figure it out, man. Pride was by far one of the greatest promotions MMA has ever had till today.
Yes, 100%.
I still believe it's still, UFC has not trumped Pride. Pride was the shit.
Yeah.
And although he wasn't the president, Morishita was the president, he was the man behind everything. He was the man in how to control. He had more power than Morishita.
Yeah.
So it was him. It was Sakakibara who made Pride what it is, and Pride was one of the greatest promotions ever. He's
100%.
got him. You can't frown on the guy, man. He's done some crazy shit.
Because I think it's about the stage, right? As well, it's like he's set the stage. He makes the fights feel so important. and it really feels historic. So, whereas sometimes with the UFC, like there's been some really great UFC moments. A lot of those moments kind of came organically. Do you know what I mean? They kind of came, you know, I don't know. You think of moments like Conor Khabib, stuff like that. It was kind of just because it was on the fighters and the story. It was there. Whereas Pride, they put all the bells and whistles. Let's just say that. So, and Jinx also asked about Takada.
Takada, pro wrestler turned fighter. Unfortunately, I don't have proof on it, but my belief is he did do some pro wrestling fights in the Pride ring, which is very disrespectful for the fighters. Didn't feel really good about that, but overall, we did have an incident on the street where he didn't show his appreciation for me helping him and his friend out of a trouble with gangsters. I literally saved their lives. He went off without thanking me about it, and I was kind of pissed off about him and had a little grudge on him. I've said it in many interviews, and it was actually going to stay like that. Where every time someone asked me about Takada, I'd say what a pussy he was. But since TSUYOSHI started fighting and he's part of Rising, we actually had a good, nice sit down where he apologized for not recognizing me helping him out. And, you know, that's all I wanted. I wanted to do it for him to do the right thing and not pretend like nothing happened, but just put his head down and say, thank you, Enson, for what you've done for me that day. And he did that. So as far as right now, we're on good terms. I'm willing to support him in any way if I can. All the grudges are dropped. And if you notice, he's one of the big names in Rising. So if you notice, out of respect to him, whenever TSUYOSHI finishes the fight, I make it a point to walk over to him and shake his hand in front of everybody to let everyone know that, hey, we're on good terms and I respect Takada.
That's cool, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It all kicked off with him and Pride, you know, him and Hickson. So, well, I think there's like one or two left. Where's it going? Nathan Priano, apologies if I said your name wrong, asked about Andrea Lee.
Andrea Lee, KGB Lee. Yeah, I remember first seeing her fight and say, whoa, it's a Russian girl. And then when she talked, it was like, she's not Russian. I actually met her in Japan when she came and cornered one of the fighters in Japan, and she was traveling with Phil Baroni. So me, Sarah, Andrea, and Phil, we had dinner together with Sarah, me, all of us four. We got to talk. Super nice girl, super good fighter.
Yeah,
and
right.
she showed a lot of interest in Power Stones. I made her a couple bracelets. She has a couple bracelets that she likes, she wears. But yeah, she's been in touch with Sarah. We're in touch very, very rarely, but every so often.
Yeah.
And that's Bernie.
Bernie's butt.
And yeah, and good fighter. Nice girl, good fighter. And not Russian though.
No, yeah, I remember thinking the same thing. The whole KGB.
Oh shit!
thing.
Hold on. He turned on the TV. Hey, no.
just got matched up.
He just turned on the TV. Thanks, Bernie, for interrupting the podcast.
Bernie causing chaos. Okay, so last one. This is a pretty loaded one. Stephen Lewis on Facebook asks about the Gracie family.
Gracie family. Damn, I mean, everyone in MMA owes appreciation and thanks to the Gracie family. Because of them, MMA is where it is today. Oh, because of them, MMA is actually here. Jorge and Gracie had an idea with Art Davies, and the big thing was about displaying jiu-jitsu, how good jiu-jitsu was. And as they were displaying jiu-jitsu, they actually created NHB, which now became MMA. And if it wasn't for the Gracie family bringing Gracie Jiu-Jitsu to the world, I don't even know I don't even know if MMA be around today still yet. They I learned, I started under them. I was always intrigued with the fact that Hoyce, Henzo, any of the Gracies, they're always willing to die in the ring for the name of the family's honor. And I don't know if I was intrigued in that but I respected it. And I believe that's why I was willing to fight to the death. Because I respected them, I looked up to them, and they were always willing to fight to the death. They'd rather die than lose. And I guess, it's not really unusual if you have a lot of people around you that you look up to fighting in that way. Nowadays, you don't have anyone fighting like that. So when you mention that to a fighter, they kind of think you're either bullshitting or you're crazy.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up in the fighting, when I was training with House and Gracie, they were willing to die. And I respected it, and I think I became to think that that's the way to do it. And that's where it was embedded in me, and that's how I fought the way I fought. So props to them, and thanks to them for grooming me to the warrior that I was and who I became.
Wow.
A lot of respect for the Gracie family.
That's really interesting how much of an influence it was in your whole career, just from the Gracies.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, come on, the fabric of MMA, right? Is you gotta have respect for the Gracies. Okay, so I think that does it. I apologize profusely to anyone if we did miss any of yours, but I feel like we covered most of them. I did write them all down, so apologies if I butchered anyone's name as well. So that wraps up this section. I think next week we might be back talking Ryzen and TSUYOSHI's fight, probably.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that would make sense. So hopefully me and the rest of the international fans will be able to watch it somehow. I'll keep my fingers crossed. But yeah, any parting words?
No, nothing. Just going to Niigata tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And that's it.
That's it. Cool.
Oh, and that was a real good name for the last name on the list. That was a perfect name for the last name on the list.
Well, Gracie
family.
Yeah. I actually didn't do that by design either. So just by luck. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Wow, that was a super good episode. A lot of shots fired, interesting stuff. No BS, no exaggeration, just straight honesty and to the point. So if anybody gets pissed off at it, I'm not too worried because I was just being very honest. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, see you guys again.